Rampage is all about going as fast, as far, and as high as you can on a gravity mountain bike. Since 2006, Fox has been protecting the heads of gravity riders with their Rampage full face, and now it's time to take that protection and performance to the next level. Enter the era of the Downhill World Cup podium-topping Rampage RS helmet. In this Dissected feature, we're going to talk you through all of the details on Fox's new premium race spec helmet and tell you about how it's performed so far out on the trails. So, let's get into it. Mike Rose of Misspent Summers put the feeling of a downhill helmet beautifully in saying, "It's a symbol, emblematic of an attitude, and carries a sense of real purpose. With your identity hidden, you can be anyone, a superhero or a villain. It gives some a feeling of invincibility and others a feeling of safety and protection, a calming influence amidst the disorder of a downhill run. From the chaos of a rock garden to the flow of a piste full of perfectly shaped berms, we put our faith in them." Fox's director of marketing, Mikey Rangel, talked about the desires that Fox had to increase the overall protection standards that they're able to withhold. They're talking about the upper echelons of the sport, our downhill riders pushing the limits harder than ever, hitting speeds higher than ever on the track. But the protection standards that typical downhill helmets are made to haven't been adapting, haven't been moving with those increasing speeds to protect your head more safely when you're at those higher energy levels. As such, Fox is really pushing the protective standards and the overall safety that they're able to make with the new Rampage RS helmet. So what exactly is new with the Rampage RS? To find out, we spoke with one of the bright minds, the global marketing manager for Fox Racing, Michael Croco.
Rampage, we called it RPC in the past, Rampage Pro Carbon. This is now called the Rampage RS, and RS stands for race spec. And really, race spec for us means that the helmet is spec'd out to the highest level that we offer. You know, and the specs unique to this helmet specifically, I want to hit on three things. Weight, so we shaved 250 grams of weight compared to the previous model. Aerodynamics, 5% more aerodynamics, so obviously athletes are looking for gain anywhere out there, and we want to be able to facilitate that. And then thirdly, and most importantly, is protection. So we spec this helmet to test higher than industry protection standards, which is something that we're really proud about and something that we've more or less taken learnings from different disciplines and applied it to, you know, kind of what we know about crown impact and chin bar impact.
A 250 gram weight reduction is no small amount, with the size large now coming in at just 1100 grams. A lighter helmet is not only going to be more comfortable on your head, but it also probably gives you some slightly increased safety overall, especially when in combination with the improved safety standards throughout. By analysing the airflow over the helmet at your typical angles that you'll face on a downhill bike, Fox was able to improve the aerodynamics of the Rampage RS too, which I think is really impressive that, yeah, Fox has really paid attention to all of the different details to deliver the ultimate in overall downhill mountain bike performance for the helmet.
The way that modern downhill, the margins are so tight, how important do you think helmet aerodynamics are? And, you know, is a 5% gain a big deal to you?
Yeah, I'd say any little bit you can get, you should take. At that point, it's like not a different input for the rider. They do the same job and they're gonna be faster with less drag. So you saw the margin today, it was 0.08, yeah. So really tight. That could be the difference in something like this. So if they're in a safer, more comfortable product that's giving them an advantage outside of the safety aspect, then something you need to take. I've seen riders go to further lengths to get smaller gains, so it's actually a pretty big thing.
The Rampage RS meets the e-bike safety standard NTA 8876, as well as the chin bar standard for European motorcyclists, the ECE 22.06. Both of these are more stringent than you would normally find in a downhill mountain bike test scenario, making it a safer helmet overall. And a large part of this safety comes from the MIPS Integra Split system inside.
MIPS is a partner that helps us validate that the helmet does offer more protection. And in some way, they are also fighting to get rotational management introduced into testing standards. That's something that's not applied across the board. So we work with them quite a bit. And the unique thing about this helmet, Integra Split, is, of course, it is reducing rotational motion if there is an impact, but it also allows us to split the two different densities of foam inside the helmet, which the advantages to that are different than rotational management. It's more so adding foam that can protect against low speed impacts. It's adding foam that can protect against high speed impacts. So, you know, MIPS Integra Split is more than just rotational management. It's really, again, it's kind of the sum of all parts that we're able to do with this now integrated system inside of it.
To ensure that both riders and racers alike are comfortable when wearing the helmet, Fox really worked on optimizing the ventilation inside. So in that MIPS Integra Split dual layer system, there's also vent channels that are both inside and underneath the Integra Split system, helping to funnel air from the front to the back to keep the rider's head cooler. Although these vents are quite small visually, so far they've been proven to do a pretty good job at funneling air through the helmet on the trail. Fox also worked on the head form. They've now moved to the same head form that they use across their lineup. So whether you get a speed frame, a Rampage, or a Pro Frame helmet, it should feel roughly the same as long as you get the right size. They've also moved to a huge extra small through to double extra large sizing structure throughout the range, helping every rider get that sizing spot on to be more comfortable and more protective.
The reason why that we build size shells specific to a head size is because it's a closer fit. And I think the reality is that a closer fit means the helmet performs at its best. So that's the reason why we introduced so many shells. I'm sure there are costs associated with additional shell sizes. There's probably design intricacies involved, but I think it's something that we're willing to do because at the end of the day, we want to offer the consumer, the athletes, the most protective helmet that we can.
Within each of these shell sizes, you'll also get two different thickness of the Ionic Plus comfort liners and cheek pads, meaning that you can really tailor the fit to every different kind of head shape. In the 2025 Downhill Mountain Bike World Cup season so far, the Rampage RS has graced the top step of the podium every single race up until the point of filming. First with Tanny Seagrave, and then more recently with Jackson Goldston, a lot.
Huge congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Win number 2 in a row.
Yeah.
How does that even feel?
Oh my gosh, that's I can't even imagine what that was gonna feel like, and you know, to win 2 in a row is something I can only dream of. So yeah, that was some of the best riding I had today, and I let it all out there on the track, and it was good enough for the win. So yeah, so stoked to take P1 again.
Getting pretty used to winning with this thing on your head at this point. What does it mean to you to know that you've got that helmet on there with the lighter weight, the increased protection? How does that affect you when you're at the start of the race?
It gives you that little bit extra confidence knowing that you're safe for for any head injuries. It's something you can't quite fully escape, but to do the best you can to protect that. And I think Fox has absolutely killed it with the new helmet. So yeah, stoked to be wearing that on my head.
What's your favorite thing about it?
Oh, favorite thing about the helmet is just the fit. I felt like the old helmet, I needed some tweaks and stuff, but this one was perfect out the box, and it's really nice to be protected by Fox.
Just slip it on your head and get into race mode, and time to get yourself on top step of a podium again.
Don't have to think about it whatsoever. So
awesome, man. Well, huge congratulations again, and I'll let you get back to the party. Thank you.
Cheers.
The final details on the Rampage RS helmet include a 2-position visor, ensuring GoPro compatibility, and there's also an under visor GoPro mount included in the box. And for the wet races, Fox includes a clip-on visor extender, meaning that your vision can be just that little bit clearer on a rainy day. And of course, to get it to and from the races, Fox includes a premium carry case to ensure you can get it to the track nice and safely. At the time of launch, Fox is offering 2 different colorways, the green and gloss carbon as we tested, or a fully matte raw carbon, and it retails for a premium $699.95.
So Nico, you've done your fair share of racing. In your time, how important would you say it's been to trust in the safety of your helmet?
It's really important. We're out here riding at really high speeds. Obviously, taking a lot of risks, and you don't want to take any more risks than you have to. Have a long career, you need to be sharp. And one head injury could be the difference between being sharp and being off. So taking confidence that you have a safe helmet just makes your job a little bit more sure, I guess, gives you good insurance. And yeah, all the riders on our team are really confident in the new Rampage, and they're really stoked with the safety aspect.
So outside of the race tape, how does the Fox Rampage RS perform? So far I've managed to log quite a few rides in it, from out in Leogang during the World Cup through to e-bike missions in Poland and plenty of rides here around my local trails in Scotland. And I've been thoroughly impressed. It's been a helmet that, although it is fully designed for downhill mountain biking and protective as such, I've been happy taking it for enduro pedals on the slightly cooler Scottish days as well. Initially I tried on the medium and the large sizing, and the really close gaps in the sizing range meant that I was still able to get my head inside the medium, but I ended up settling on the large here with the slightly thicker crown liner inside, and that gave me an absolutely perfect, super comfortable, all-day wearable fit that's still nice and secure on my head. Of course, as with any protective equipment, and especially helmets, getting your head inside one and testing it for yourself is always going to be the best idea. But I'd say that this does kind of sit quite in line with the Rampage Pro Carbon in terms of its sizing. I was large in that helmet, and I'm large in the Rampage RS too. The best products out there are always the ones that either really shout about their job or go about their job completely silently. And in the case of the Rampage RS, it's been the latter camp that it's fallen into. As soon as I've stuck this helmet on my head, I've not really given it a second thought. It's just blended into the background and given me nice and comfortable protection to ensure that I can just absolutely send it without thinking about it. Immediately notable was the reduced weight that Fox has managed to deliver the Rampage RS in, and I think it's really impressive that they've managed to not only boost the overall protection available, but also make it just a lighter, slightly airier, and generally more comfortable helmet to be on your head. While it is still a good few 100 grams heavier than the likes of the Pro Frame, it is slightly more of a feeling of being a more pedal-friendly enduro helmet, just because of that slightly increased overall ventilation and the lighter weight that it provides. And as such, I have just been so happy wearing this helmet more often than a typical downhill helmet would be reserved for just downhill laps in a bike park. I've been getting this thing out onto the trails on an e-bike, and I've been really comfortable and happy with it. With that slightly more wearable, enduro-friendly kind of feeling that the Rampage RS provided, it sparked a question to me of the perception of rider safety. So we'll cut back to the interview that I had with Michael Croco to get his take on it.
When you're delivering a helmet that's not only lighter but also more protective, do you find that there's some kind of communication difficulties telling the athletes that it is safer even though it feels lighter and more airy on the head?
Yeah, I think anybody would maybe assume that a bigger helmet might mean that it offers more protection, but I think the reality is that we've come so far in terms of what technology we can introduce in the helmet. So chopped carbon outer shell, we have different densities tuned differently inside the helmet, as well as the MIPS protection system. So in some way, it's the sum of all parts. It's not just one thing that makes a helmet more protective, like more foam. It's a lot of things that are involved. So I think at the surface level, you might see this helmet, feel it. It feels very light. You might assume that it's not as safe, but we've tested it to the same standards, as well as we've increased our protection standards for speed and for failure thresholds. So yeah, I mean, I think in some way we're really proud of this helmet. The aesthetic looks a little bit different, but if you follow motocross, it's very similar to our V3 RS helmet. So
Thankfully, so far, I've managed to avoid putting the protective capabilities of the Rampage RS to the test, but I have absolute faith all of the development work that Fox has done into increasing the safety of this helmet is going to pay dividends if you do come time to putting your head down onto the trail. Of course, the price tag is a tough pill to swallow, but I think the attention to detail that Fox has put into this helmet makes that pill a little bit better lubricated to go down. And yeah, it's just clear that they've really sweated every single detail on it, from the overall fit and the finish to the elements like the integration with the GoPro and even the extended visor mount. It's all been really well considered, well thought out, and the feeling in your hand is just of a very premium product. The colorways that are available at launch, I wouldn't say are necessarily my favorite personally. Of course, looks are always going to be subjective, but I would have loved to see more of that raw carbon finish and less of the matte green, which it wouldn't be my choice. But I think if there's ever going to be a helmet that justifies spending the money on a custom paint job, then this has definitely got to be up there as one of the top candidates. I hope you guys have enjoyed joining us for this deep dissection into the Fox Rampage RS helmet. It's safe to say whether it was for a sponsored feature like this Dissected feature or not, I'd be singing the praises of this helmet because it truly has elevated the overall downhill helmet protection and performance in my eyes. And it's definitely a helmet that I'm thoroughly looking forward to keeping on riding on the trails with that peace of mind that it's going to keep me protected. A huge thanks to Fox Racing for helping to put this feature together for us and to providing me with this new helmet. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching. For now, catch you out on the trails.